Moscow, Idaho. A quiet, peaceful college town. But the morning of November 13, 2022, stained the history of this city forever. At 1122 King Road, 4 young, hopeful college students were brutally butchered in their beds. The most terrifying part? 2 other people were inside the house while the murders took place. They survived. There were no signs of forced entry, nothing was stolen. Only blood and the traces of death remained. How could a killer silently murder 4 people and walk away unnoticed? Today, Case 404 takes you into one of the darkest and most complex cases in modern criminology. The victims were close friends living on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the house. 21-year-olds Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves, 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin. Saturday night, November 12th, was passing with normal college joy. Madison and Kaylee went to a local bar. Surveillance cameras captured them smiling and buying food from a food truck. It was their final smile. By 1:45 a.m., everyone had returned home. There were 6 people in the house. By 3 a.m. the lights were out. Everyone drifted into a sweet sleep. But no one knew that for some, this sleep would be eternal. Starting at 3:29 a.m., surveillance cameras not far from the house began picking up a white Hyundai Elantra. It circled the neighborhood 3 times. At 4:04 a.m., the car returned a 4th time and parked near the back of the house. It is believed the killer entered through the sliding glass door. He brought a large, sharp military-style knife. The first targets were Madison and Kaylee on the 3rd floor. Their lives ended brutally in their own bed. Then the killer went down to the 2nd floor and found Xana and Ethan. Xana tried to fight back. She had defensive wounds on her fingers. But the killer was too strong and too ruthless. Now we come to the most mind-boggling and mysterious part of the story, the surviving witness. A tenant living on the 1st floor, named Dylan, woke up to strange noises in the night. She heard what sounded like crying and a voice saying, "There's someone here." Dylan opened her door slightly to look. According to her statement, she saw a tall man dressed in black, wearing a mask that covered his nose and mouth, leaving only his bushy eyebrows visible. The killer walked right past her and left through the sliding door. Dylan went into a state of frozen shock, locked her door and stayed there. The biggest question arises here. Why didn't Dylan call the police immediately, but instead waited nearly 8 hours, calling at 11:58 a.m. the next day? Was she paralyzed by fear? Did she think it was just a bad dream? This question has forced all of America into a heated debate. The killer might have thought he was incredibly smart. But he made a fatal mistake. On the bed next to Madison and Kaylee, the killer left behind a leather knife sheath. And on the button of that very sheath, a microscopic sample of DNA was found. Weeks later, police tracked down the white Hyundai Elantra and arrested a suspect. His name was Bryan Kohberger. The most shocking part? He wasn't a common criminal. He was a Ph.D. student studying the psychology of criminals and criminology. How could a scholar who studies murders leave behind such a blatant piece of evidence? The investigation revealed that Kohberger's phone had pinged near the house at least 12 times in the months leading up to the murders. He was watching them, hunting them. But why them? Did he know the victims? Bryan Kohberger is currently in jail. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The upcoming trial remains the center of global attention. This isn't just a crime. It's a terrifying lesson about human nature. We feel safe in our own homes behind locked doors. We never imagine that outside, in the dark, someone might be watching us. Do you think a criminology scholar could have made a mistake on purpose? Or was he simply a killer who was strong in theory but panicked in practice? And how do you explain the surviving witness's 8-hour silence? Leave your thoughts in the Case 404 comments. Don't forget to subscribe.